Hey Deej, lovely to have a quick chat again, and we're exploring a little bit some questions around the course that you're bringing to New Zealand very soon. So it's the Introductory Certificate in Embodied Counselling. And so what I'm curious about, what I'd love to know from you is if you could talk a little bit into what embodiment means for you and why you think it's useful for different practitioners to use these kind of tools.
Yeah, so great question. So embodiment is about living with more awareness in the body. So, some people talk about primary consciousness and secondary consciousness. Secondary consciousness is reflecting on the process of living. So thinking, speaking, imagining, all those sort of cognitive and narrative, so cognitive is thinking, narrative is speaking, those processes are secondary consciousness. You're reflecting on the process of living. And so that's really useful because, that can give us real sort of capacity to change and grow and to be powerful in the world because our minds are really powerful. But primary consciousness is the somatic aspect. So primary consciousness is actually being fully present in the process of living. So my awareness is really fully in it. And all human beings can do this. But for most people living in the Western world, it takes a bit of practice because, for some hundreds of years in the Western world, we've really practiced and valued our cognitive and narrative capacities. So we're great thinkers and great speakers and not so great feelers. But if we can, through practice, through embodied practice, start to bring up the body's capacity, so the information the body's got, and to learn that we can work with the body, we can regulate the body, we can shift what it's feeling, we can connect more, we can feel more, then I think on a global level, it's possible that the human race will not only be powerful, it will also be wise. But on an individual level, it just gives us more choice and more freedom. So the mind doesn't need to be constantly hijacked and just placed wherever the latest thing has taken it. So this is the mindfulness aspect. So we have choice about where we put our awareness. But then through moving and breath and vibration and sound and touch, we can really develop the neural circuitry in our bodies. We can change our brains and nervous systems to be more present, to connect more, to have more choice, to have more vibrancy, and to access more sensation and pleasure.
Thank you. I love that. I think what comes up for me when you're talking about that is I've heard you say, or I've heard you mention something around, when we're working with people as clients, or even just for ourselves, like that, I don't know, is it 80% of it is just presence and deep listening, or I don't know what percentage, but there's something in me, I know even if I'm working with someone, if I can feel their full presence and really showing up and really deep listening to me, that's half of it there.
It's exactly. Well, more than half of it, I would say. So, almost all of the research that has been done into the effectiveness of the helping professions such as counselling shows that actually our sort of theories and our methodology aren't that important. Yeah, like that, because there's all sorts of people working in all sorts of different ways and doing great work, doing really great work. What the studies show makes us, makes helping professions more effective is how we show up. So the qualities we show up with and our capacity to be fully present and attend with all we've got. So when I was at psych school, they taught us active listening, but I don't think it's enough. I think, active listening is great, but we've actually got to actively attend. We've got to be, the more present we can be with everything we've got, the more safe and attended to our clients are going to be, and that allows them to get curious with what they're experiencing, and both with their joys and their struggles, and so that they can feel safe enough to go into the areas that they're struggling with and make change there.